Hello and welcome back to our channel. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Up. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new, you are welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. So today guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a tube top with a drawstring at the sides. The picture is on the thumbnail. Okay, so we are going to be making this together. So what you have to do first is to make sure that your fabric is a stretchy fabric. So this is the fabric I'm going to be using. This is an original velvet fabric, so you can decide any fabric of your choice. So I have two pieces folded here. Okay, this is the front and that is the back. So what you have to do is to determine your measurement, divide your bust by 2 and subtract half an inch from it. Okay, so the bust I'm working with is 37. So 37 divided by 2 is 18.5. So I'm going to be marking 18. So I subtracted half an inch from that 18.5. So that is how I got my 18. So whatever your bust measurement is, go ahead and divide it by 2 and subtract half an inch, and make sure you don't add any sewing allowance to this cloth because it's a stretchy fabric and you don't need any allowance for it. I hope that is clear. So right here I have 2 pieces already laid on each other, so I already cut them out. Now for the length of the cloth, I decided to use 13 inches. Okay, whatever length you decided to use, go ahead and add 10 inches to that length. Okay, so for me, I decided to use 13 inches as the length, and then I added extra 10 inches to that length. So I got 23 inches for the length. Okay, but if you have enough fabric, multiply the length by 2. So if you are going to be using 15 inches as your length, multiply it by 2 and you're going to be getting 30 inches for the entire length. So assuming I have enough fabric, I would have multiplied 13 by 2. 23 inches was also okay for me by the time I was done sewing this top. So multiply your length by 2. It's actually depend on how you want your ruche, how full you want your ruche effect to be. Okay, I hope that is clear. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and hem the upper part and also hem the lower part of this top. I'm going to be doing this for both the front and the back. So this is the piece we are going to be using for the drawstring. Okay, it's going to give us that long drawstring. So what I did was to cut 2 inches by 69 inches, but I discovered that the 2 inches was too wide when I was done stitching, so I had to reduce it. So I would advise you use 1.5 inches by 69 inches. Approximate it to 1.5 by 17 inches. Okay, so now you need 2 pieces of it. Okay, you need 2 long pieces for this particular one. So at this point I was done sewing and turning them inside out, and I also ironed them. So I also hemmed the up and the lower part of both the front and the back panel. Can you see? And I also went ahead to pin both sides together. You know the fabric is stretchy, so what you're going to be doing at this point is to use 1 inch to close both sides. Okay, you're going to be using 1 inch to close both sides, because if you use less than 1 inch, the upper bust is not going to be firm, it's not going to be fitted on you, it's going to be loose. So make sure you use 1 inch on both sides to close up the front and the back panel. Can you see? So this is what I have. At this point I was done closing both the front and the back panel. I was done joining them together. So I also overlock the edge of all the panels. Okay, so you can decide to overlock if you have an overlocking machine, and if you don't, leave it that way. And if you also have a zigzag machine, go ahead and use it. So at this point I use a zigzag machine I first use a straight stitch, and then I now decided to use a zigzag stitch also, because the fabric is a stretchy fabric, so it tends to break if you use straight stitch. But if you don't have a zigzag machine, go ahead and use your straight stitch. So at this point I opened the seam allowance that I already have, and then I'm stitching it down. You're creating a case for the strap. Okay, yeah, you're creating a case for the strap, so you're going to stitch it all the way down and then do the same thing to the other part. Can you see what I'm doing? So I repeated the same process for this part, and I repeated the same process for the second part also. So we are just creating the case for the strap. So go ahead and stitch it all the way to the end. So at this point I was done. Look at how it's looking. So what you're going to do now is to grab your needle and thread, and then you are going to be passing in the strap into the case we just created now. So watch me do this. So these are the straps. So you're going to use your needle and thread, and also you're going to pass it in like this. Pass it in like twice, and then you're going to start passing it into the case we just created. So I feel this method is more easier than the use of safety pin. Okay, so when you are using a needle and thread to pass something like this, it is more easier than when you're using a safety pin to pass it. I don't know what you think. Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Okay, so I'm just going to pass it in like this. Once I'm done, I'm going to pass it into the upper part like this. Then you go down again, and then you're going to pass it in and come out from the lower part where you started from, but the second case. You know, we've created two cases there, so you go in by one and you come out at the upper part. You also now go in from the upper part and come down at the lower part. So at this point, just go ahead and cut off your needle and thread, and then adjust your strap like this. So I'm going to remove the thread first, and then I'm going to start adjusting it. So make sure you pull it, and once you're done pulling this, you have to make sure that the strap is equal at the lower part before you start creating the ruche effects at the sides. Okay, this is what I'm trying to explain, guys. Can you see how neat and easy it is to make this top? So this top can actually be rocked in 5 different ways. You can even use it as a skirt. Yeah, so see the final look of it on the mannequin. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Also feel free to share this video with your loved ones. My name is Esther, and this is Q-Est Fashion Up. Don't stop learning, keep learning, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.